Today, Nintendo released the third wave of DLC for Mario Kart 8. You're probably thinking to yourself, Ben, what does this have to do with the title of the video? Well, as many people know, these new tracks are basically all ported from Mario Kart Tour, Nintendo's mobile version of the franchise. Pretty much no one was expecting new content for this game in 2022, but thanks to the existence of the mobile game, this was made possible. And more content will continue to come for this game in 2023. The same could be possible for Animal Crossing New Horizons too. Every month we see these little images of all the crazy items that Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is getting that we aren't, and it always sparks up a discussion about bringing over some of these items to New Horizons. Now, of course, we all know that Nintendo said no more major updates or new DLC packs for the game after the 2.0 update. But whilst Nintendo didn't explicitly say this for Mario Kart, the expectations were pretty much the same. It was packaged as the ultimate version of that game, with improvements made from the Wii U version, effectively its own 2.0 update and DLC. Nintendo definitely seemed like they had rubbed their hands clean of Mario Kart until they decided to announce the new DLC packs. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling game on the Switch with nearly 50 million units sold. Animal Crossing isn't actually that far behind it either, despite coming out years after. Nintendo is a business first and foremost, so it makes sense for them to release new content for their best-selling game. It's also packaged with their online membership service to encourage people to purchase that, just like Happy in Paradise is. Now, it's really hard to imagine Nintendo suddenly coming out with another huge update for Animal Crossing at this point. It is true that sometimes they do go back on themselves after saying no to something, but it feels more likely that they would move on to another game like a spin-off. However, I wouldn't exactly call porting over some items from Pocket Camp a huge update. If anything, it would be the bare minimum that they could do. Development-wise, it's obvious that this would be a lot more simple than creating brand new items from scratch, although that's not to say they wouldn't have to put any work in, as New Horizons is a bit fancier than Pocket Camp. But in my opinion, it's a lot more realistic of a task than say randomly adding in new villages or features, something that honestly is never gonna happen. Pocket Camp literally has thousands of items to choose from as well, so they could easily do maybe say 100 of these and space them out as new seasonal items or something in the future. This alone would excite Animal Crossing fans a lot and rejuvenate the game, even though it really isn't that much new content. It also tide us over until they do come out with something new, whatever that may be. I definitely think if Mario Kart can get it, so can New Horizons. We can't forget that Pocket Camp and New Horizons already have a crossover with several items based on that game available when you connect the two together. Pocket Camp also has had crossovers with New Horizons too, so I don't see why in future this would be out of the realm of possibility. Despite all of that, I'm sure like many of you, my hopes for this really aren't that high. I do think that this would be the most likely thing they could do with New Horizons going forward, but when they said they're not releasing any more updates, I'm sadly inclined to believe them, especially after a year of practically nothing. But I do think Mario Kart is good proof that Nintendo can change their minds with things like this, especially if they're getting a lot of money for doing so. The success of the Mario Kart DLC in fact could convince them even more to come out with new content for New Horizons. It's a lot easier than them releasing new games and such, it helps improve their fiscal numbers at the end of the year, so why not come out with more content for their best-selling games? I also feel like it would get Animal Crossing fans back on the side of Nintendo a little bit. It's fair to say that a lot of us aren't exactly happy with them completely abandoning this game. I also do get that there are some people watching this who are probably completely happy with everything we have in New Horizons, and that's fair, but wouldn't you be happy if they did decide to add in some new items as well? The only other piece of evidence I can think of that they may decide to do this is the fact that they did come out with a huge update for Animal Crossing New Leaf years and years after the game launched. In my opinion, they definitely released this as a way to tide fans over until the next Animal Crossing game, because they likely weren't able to develop it in time. We knew that they actually had been developing New Horizons at the point this New Leaf update came out, so it really does seem like that was the reason. So hopefully they may consider doing something similar for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that it was originally reported that the mobile version of Animal Crossing, before we knew it was Pocket Camp, was supposed to connect with the next Animal Crossing game. So it's very likely that originally Animal Crossing Pocket Camp could have had much more connectivity with New Horizons, Which makes me feel like the two very much are still connected in Nintendo's mind, as we see by the crossover items they added at the start of the launch. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Would you like to see Pocket Camp items in Animal Crossing New Horizons? And are there any particular items you can think of that you'd really like to see them add in? If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more.